I messed that up. Everyone has had to brainstorm in order to solve a problem at least once in their life. Sometimes they can be very intense situations that require every ounce of brain power to figure out how to move forward. And sometimes you forget to check if there's enough toilet paper before you sit down. No idea is too crazy, and every unusual idea can turn out to be a great one. In my case, it didn't. There are different brainstorming methods, and it's important to choose the best one for you and your team. And we're here to help. In this episode, we're going to cover everything you need to know about brainstorming and the top techniques you can use to find your best ideas. First off, there are two types of brainstorming: individual and group brainstorming. Individual brainstorming is the use of brainstorming in solitary situations. In other words, it's like going on a date with your thoughts. Been there, done that. You go through random ideas, and suddenly, those unconventional ideas turn into tangible solutions. The problem with individual brainstorming is that you might not develop ideas to their fullest if you have no one else to bounce ideas off of. Now, group brainstorming, on the other hand, is where you gather with your team and everyone throws out ideas, no matter how crazy, and then collectively, you work through each idea to find the best one. And for some reason, no one seems to like my suggestions. With group brainstorming, team members can help one another out when they get stuck on an idea. Or another member may have some knowledge on an idea and can throw in suggestions. Before we dive into the different techniques, let's review the 4 rules of brainstorming. Brainstorming rules are essential because they help guide discussion and ensure that everyone has a fair shot at being heard. For starters, focus on quantity, not quality. Refrain from criticizing any bad idea until it's time to prioritize. Encourage big ideas, no matter how crazy they might sound, and build on ideas from others. These guidelines will help ensure that your team will have a successful brainstorming session. Alright, so now that we've got the basics out of the way, here are 7 brainstorming techniques that will help you take your ideas to the next level. Number 1, mind mapping. Mind mapping is one of the best brainstorming techniques because it lets you brainstorm thoughts without worrying about structure and order. A mind map consists of concepts that are linked to and arranged around a central idea. Not to mention, mind map tools are fun because you get to turn boring information into colorful and memorable diagrams. With ClickUp's mind maps, you can transform your fresh ideas into beautiful, well-organized maps. You can also share them with your team with a click of a button. This way, everyone on your team can visualize the workflow and collaborate on any adjustments. Number 2, personal idea pad quadrant. So this is what people mean when they say, think outside of the box. By associating unrelated concepts together, you're able to tackle the problem in a different way. You start with the challenge you are facing. This is the problem statement. Then, identify what immediate solutions you think could solve the challenge. Next is the role. Here is where you ask yourself who you think could solve this specific problem. The nutshell is one word or phrase that sums up the challenge in a new way. Assumption is where you list out any of the reasons or assumptions that people have with the challenge. Think about some of the complications or factors that add to this challenge. Then, you combine them. Start by taking one item from one of the quadrants and pair it with a word from another quadrant. Now you can test and see if these two things together could solve your problem. Number 3, brainwriting. This is one of the most common brainstorming techniques that's usually best done in teams. And like they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Here's how brainwriting works. A team leader or facilitator will throw out an idea. Then, each participant on the team will write down an idea. After a few minutes, the piece of paper is passed to the next participant, who then builds on the idea or adds another new idea. Do this 4 or 5 rounds with a group of about 6 to 10 people, and you'll have a ton of ideas. The facilitator will then review the ideas during a break, select the ones he or she likes best, and then return to the group to build and construct a plan on those ideas. Brainwriting is great because no one knows exactly who wrote specific ideas, and the team lead still has control over what's happening by selecting the top ideas for further discussion. Number 4, brainwalking. So think of brainwalking as the cousin to brainwriting. Instead of moving a piece of paper around, you move people. Pieces of paper are hung on a wall. Then participants add their ideas to solve the problem, and then move on to the next piece of paper. This is a great way to take ideas public and generate a new type of energy by thinking on your feet. Literally. Number 5, grids. Similar to the personal idea pad quadrant we covered just a minute ago, but instead of 4 quadrants and combining ideas from there, you're combining ideas from a grid. Fill in the top header row and first column with the same idea and then move along the top and along the column. Have each participant from your team suggest an idea and add it to the grid. Then start combining ideas, one from each row, all the way down. If you start with 4 ideas, you'll have 16 new ones just by combining them together. Surely there's got to be a good idea in there somewhere. Number 6, bubbles. Bubble maps are an easy way to jot down and organize ideas in a visual framework during a brainstorming session. Start by drawing 9 circles on a page, with 3 in each row. In the very middle, list the problem you're trying to solve. Then, list out 8 other creative ideas around that main idea. Once you've generated ideas, start the process over again. So, for example, you'll take idea number 5, place that in the middle, and build out more ideas around that one. This is an excellent combination of mixing teams with individual contributions for creative problem solving. And finally, number 7, whiteboard brainstorming. Use a digital whiteboard to dump all of your ideas in one place. With ClickUp Whiteboards, you get a visual and idea-first approach to brainstorming. The blank slate starting point also helps to promote creativity in the brainstorming process by breaking away from text-based information models or document-heavy practices. Technically speaking, you can always have a brainstorming meeting without using any of these methods, but it doesn't give your team a sense of direction or an organized space for creative thinking. Using these brainstorming techniques will help you come up with new ideas, think of new ways to solve problems, and help your team collaborate better in real time. Let us know in the comments how you like to brainstorm. Or if there's a technique we didn't cover that you find useful, drop a line down below. Until next time, stay productive out there.
Cut.
There's nothing on these pages. These are blank.